Evening all, it's Dragon Warriors time again, and it's way too hot to be gaming under hot lights and everything else, but we're doing it anyway, so welcome aboard. Right. Our merry band of adventurers has returned from their second expedition to Mungoda with only a single giant sapphire to show for it. And after a suitable amount of rest and recuperation, have made their way back to Albion, to Ellis Land, to do their sort of usual rounds of patrolling and making sure everything's okay with their various holdings and friends there. You're on your way back again to the coast when the fancy takes you to take a more circuitous route and take in some areas of the country that you haven't necessarily visited so much before, a little bit off the beaten trail. The path that you're on now is little more than just a horse track. Will take you close to Brockley, which you don't know that much about. It's a small sort of fiefdom nestled in amongst other surrounding lordships. Low value land, but it's pretty enough as you're passing through it. Early in the afternoon, you crest a ridge on your horses to an alarming sight. Below you, a mob of people in brown leathers, deer skins, and other less civilized attire have a man surrounded by a gnarled tree next to the road. The man stands with his back to the tree, and up in the branches above him, a gnarled old woman is throwing twigs and acorns and whatever else she can get at the people who have them surrounded, these brown-dressed bandits by the look of them. The man has the torn livery of a lord and battered armour. He's bleeding from several wounds, but he keeps lunging around with his sword, trying to keep these raiders back, but there are too many of them for him to deal with.
I'll take the lead and charge forwards.
Okay.
Instinctively. I'm not even going to ask questions. I am going to.
Was that gulls or
Your friends are
sirens?
called
Or both?
I like that.
It's the gull police.
The fuzz in the background.
Ah.
That's so wonderful.
Okay, well, Caesora's slightly quicker on the uptake than you, so what does Caesora want to do? As Elaine spurs his horse towards these raiders.
Am I on foot or on foot, or horse?
It's entirely up to you. I would assume you're on horse since you're travelling.
Right. Get off horsey poos, get off phantom,
Yeah.
unsheath my swords, and go charging up.
Okay, so out of the saddle, draw your swords, but that's as much as you can do this turn.
Yeah.
Getting off the horse is your movement.
Yeah, I guess that.
Okay, what does Elaine wish to do?
I'm going to ride up ahead and sweep my sword across the chest of the closest bandit.
Okay, so you come hurtling up, hooves tearing up the muddy path, and come swooping past them. Do you want your horse to attack them as well?
Let's go for it.
Okay, so he'll put 3 defense against you, 2 defense against your horse. So
What happens when my horse rolls a crit?
then the same thing that normally happens, but with a more horsey motif to it.
Brilliant! Because I did that.
Okay, so it automatically gets through whatever armor he has, and you roll double damage for the horse's hooves.
That's brilliant. That's
2.
2d10.
Have you named your
14
horse
points
yet,
of damage.
14 points of damage. Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, but have you ever named your horse yet, Surly?
I can't remember, wasn't it something like Buttercup?
Something like
Or-
that. Yeah. Binky.
Oh, lol. I love it.
Right, so you come hurtling up. One of them turns round at the sound of hoofbeats and is immediately trampled to mush underneath the hooves of your horse, leaving you free to attack another one because he's just been pounded into dust. So you can slash out at another one. Have a +2 bonus to your attack, so that negates his defense. No, so this is another one, isn't it? Sorry, 5 defense against you, but you get a +2 bonus to your attack from being mounted.
I hit.
Okay. It's going to go straight through his armor, so damage, please.
That is... Math. Through 6 points of damage.
Okay. You tear a ragged slash across his back, and he stumbles forward into his compatriots. Madrock.
I can't fight from horseback, so I will. If I can get my horse to follow the others, I'll do that, and then I'll jump from the saddle onto one of the others.
Okay.
That's probably less risky than trying to fight from horseback.
Okay. So his defense is 5, so take that away from your attack and roll under it.
Okay. I rolled a 2. That's going to hit.
Yeah. Right. Give yourself +1 to armor penetration and +1 to damage, but you're making an unarmed attack.
Get double boots, I'm thinking. Well, I rolled a 3, so +1 for the...
Yeah. And then damage?
What is it, D3 for a...
I believe so, because if you've got trained martial arts, it's D6, isn't it? So, yeah, I think it's D3.
D6 for unarmed, yeah.
For you, yeah, not for Madrock.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
I rolled 4, yeah, 2.
2 damage. Okay.
So, I'm after more the impact of the...
Right, so you swing off your horse as it goes charging by these people and smack this guy in the face with 2 hobnailed boots. He goes down like a sack of mouldy potatoes and just lays there twitching.
Master kick. Anyone get that reference?
Right, the remaining raiders turn on you all and jab with their spears. So, let's see. Elaine is in range to be hit. And Madrock is in range to be hit. And there's also the knight, or whatever he is, who's fighting in defense of the old lady. So... Right. What's Elaine's defense split? Well, no, actually, you've got the horse as well, haven't you? Okay, what's your horse's defense?
4.
Okay, so it's 2.
Oh, wait, that's not good.
What's its...
My actual defense is also 4.
Okay, its defense is 4.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's its armor rating?
Armor rating is 3.
Okay. Right. 2 of them plunge their spears into your horse's flanks, and it takes 10 wounds.
Buttercup, no!
No!
No.
Now, what's your defense split 2 ways?
My defense split 2 ways is 9. 4. Need a calculator for this one.
Come on, Baldric. The ape creatures of the Indus have mastered this.
I had to use a calculator to divide 19
by 2.
Have pity on me, please.
So 10 and 9.
Or
Yes.
9.
Okay, you manage to swing in the saddle out of the reach of the spears, while your horse gets skewered a couple of times. Ow. Right. What is Madrock's defense split 3 ways?
Bloody hell. Well, my full defense is less than half of what this time. All right, so it will be 3, 2, and 2.
Okay, so 3, 2, 2. You are struck once. What's your armor rating?
Probably the same as Smith. 2, I believe. Yeah, 2.
Okay. You're jabbed in the arse for 5 points of damage from a spear.
Lucky.
Ow.
Is this full of sexual innuendo tonight, Grim?
No. That was last night.
Jack's horse gets spit roasted. Father Abbas, Madrock gets penetrated from behind by a spear. What's next?
But it is Saturday, so you know.
Right, so Brother Abbas's go.
I shall do what I do best. Psychic blast one of them.
From horseback.
Yay!
Mystic blast, sorry, not psychic.
I thought it was mind bolt.
Well, no, it's actually called Mystic Blast. I just like calling it Mind Bullets. It has a nicer ring to it. Level. Fuck.
That's telekinesis, Kyle.
Exactly.
He's a freak. He's a mutant.
Okay,
Throw them on-
their evasion is 3.
I'll just make the exhaustion roll first. Bear with me. Forgot to load up the dice roller. Yep, not exhausted. Their evasion is 3. Speed is 16, so under 13 then. Hit. Oh, how many points of damage? 3d6 plus 1. That's why I like this spell.
It does too much damage.
It does a lot of damage. Well, as long as you don't roll too low, you're fine.
Yeah.
Same with everything.
11 points of damage minus armor.
Okay.
Wouldn't it have like a really good even damage then if you're rolling more dice?
Yeah,
Well,
the average is pretty good. It's 3d6, so the average is going to be 10.5.
or 11.
Yeah. Right. So you ride up a bit closer on your horse, concentrate on one of the bandits, and let fly your psychic bolt into him. He collapses to the ground with blood pouring from his ears and nose. New turn. Cesora.
I'm going for the big cheese.
Okay, so you single out the largest one of these raiders.
The one who's attacking the woman in the tree, yeah, big food.
Yep. And hurl yourself into the melee and give him a good old stabbing.
Hell yeah.
Okay, his defense is 5.
Excellent. Music to my ears. 2.
And damage?
Well, I'm using one attack as a spare to parry it off. So that will be my Sword of Valda. So that's a D8 plus 4, or is it the D8 plus 6? D6.
The first number before the slash is armor penetration. For damage, it's the second dice after the slash.
So what you want first? You want the
I
armor one?
don't need to worry about the armor because you're going to cut straight through it. They're just wearing sort of buck hide and leathers. So.
Okie dokie. I get a grand total of 10.
Okay. Right, so you come hurtling into the melee with horses milling around and people crushed and booted all over the place, duck around a bunch of spears, and stab one of the guys fighting the knight backed up against the tree, down in the top of the shoulder, between the space in the bones, and pierce his lungs and heart, killing him instantly. Elaine.
Oh. Oh yes, bandits. Kill.
Yes. The bloodlust is upon you.
Hopefully the horse will kick.
Yep. So just
Instinctively.
you wheel the horse around to strike at another one,
Yeah.
and let the horse do its business with its hooves. Okay. So, do you want to attack a different one to the horse, or do you and the horse want to act as one?
The horse will strike one of them, and then I'll strike the other.
Their defense is 5, so roll an attack for your horsey.
Let's see if it hits. Yes, it hits.
And roll armor penetration for the horse.
8.
And roll damage for the horse.
Oh, 1.
Okay. The horse rears up magnificently, peddling the air with its hooves, then comes down with a massive thump on its enormous hooves, leans forward and bites one on the shoulder. He says,
That's
ow.
good.
Right, and you attack another one, so take the defense of 5 away from your attack and roll.
I hit.
And roll damage.
10.
Okay. Yeah, you just cleave down with your sword and cut him through from one side of his neck, almost down to his armpit on the other side.
Slightly more ow.
Yes. He issues a strangled gurgle and collapses. Alright. Madrock.
Okay, so this will be the sword
Yep.
and a 9. So,
So defense is 5.
oh yeah, hit then.
Yep. And damage?
Oh, it went through armor.
Yeah, they've only got 1 armor, so...
Oh right, okay. Ooh, 9.
9. Okay.
Through sword. Nice.
So you get back up to your feet, you yank your sword quickly out of its scabbard, and immediately, sort of almost accidentally, cut one across the throat as you get your sword free of its scabbard.
Yeah.
You must be picking up a thing or two. Right. So, I think everyone except Abbas is in melee range now.
I just want to call this: the knight is a hag. Has been ensorcelled by the hag. They're surrounded by innocent villagers who have just hunted her down for doing terrible things to their village. Of course, we didn't think about questions.
Right. So, same split for your defense, Jack, against the two?
Yes.
Okay, they jab ineffectually towards you. Your horse's defense was 4, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, they fail to land a decent blow on your horse this time, with their spear points just bouncing off the barding armor. What's Caesora's defense?
That will be 13.
Is that with the bonus for main gauche?
Oh, sorry, 14.
It's plus 2 for the sword.
Yeah.
So it's 15 then.
Yeah, 15. My bad.
Okay. Right. Yeah, you just dance and twist and spin underneath their ineffectual blows with their spears, getting in nice and close so they can't stab you properly, but you're in good stabbing distance. Right, and Madrock's defense?
Complete or split?
Complete defense.
All right, nice. 9. I forgot to add on +2 last round.
Okay, yeah. You managed to avoid being hit in a similar but slightly less skillful way to Caesora.
Hey, I'm far better at running away and evading them.
Yeah, but you've got a sword in your hand. It gets in the way of running.
Yeah.
Right, new turn. Caesora.
Well, since that big guy's down, I'm going to face the guy who tried to chip me.
I
Okay.
haven't had my go.
Haven't you? Oh, no, you haven't. No,
I was going to say.
sorry, go on.
Sorry.
Right,
I'll-
Abbas first then.
I'll let off another. Try and take another out with a Mystic Blast.
Okay, go for it. So their evasion is 3.
Oh, not excited. Rolled a 1 on my Psychic Exhaustion, so I'm tickety-boo. And
You feed on his psychic energies and grow more powerful.
yeah, excellent. It's under 13.
I still say the mutant.
Okay.
Going on with this.
And 3d6. I did all right last game anyway. I got like 4 or 5 up before I got
Before you
completely
got tired,
exhausted as
yeah.
well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How much damage then?
Oh, nasty. 13 minus armor.
Okay. Right. Another one just staggers, bleeding from the ears, nose, and eyes, and then pitches backwards into the dirt without so much as taking a blow. Right. So now it's Cizora.
I'm gonna chip one and get ready to parry the other.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
the guy.
15
The guy who tried to stab you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the defense is 5.
Okie dokie. Dee 4.
And roll damage.
7.
Okay. You drive your blade into this guy's belly. The way he's staring at you, it's kind of blank and almost like he's looking through you. You get the sense you're fighting fanatics, and despite being gutted, he's still up. Right, Elaine.
Going to strike at another one, just keep hacking.
Yeah. And the horse continue to attack?
Indeed.
Okay, so defense 5, roll for your horse first.
Horse hits. Horse.
Horse damage. Armor penetration first.
Oh, quite low. It's 2.
That's enough. And horse damage.
Also 2.
You need to get +2 horse. Right, the gutted raider who's engaged with Cizora suddenly gets trampled into the dirt as the horse's hooves come down on top of him. And then you lash out at another one, so 5 defense against your attack.
I hit.
And roll damage.
Ooh, 11 points of damage.
Alright, you lean down as your horse comes down. Your sort of combined weight and speed lops one guy's head clean off, and it goes spinning away into the hedge, displacing some birds that were nesting there. Right. And it is Madrock's turn.
Okay, see if I can beat my success. Not just do. Ah, yes, a 19, of course.
We're back to normal, thank goodness.
Yeah, all is right with the roll.
Okay. Yeah, you sort of flail around with your sword trying to hit someone, but their rapidly decreasing numbers is what's confused you. Right, the remaining raiders break from the combat, turn and run. One of them pauses in his fleeing to hurl his spear at Abbas. But it sails about 3 feet to the left of Abbas and lands on the road. Right, so they've broken.
Can I pick it up and chuck it back at him? Keep your stick.
When it's your next turn.
Yeah.
So Abbas's go. You muted?
Sorry, was that me?
Yes, that's you.
Oh, sorry. Are they all running away now?
They have turned and run away, and one of them hurled his spear at you.
Oh, let them run.
Okay. Do the rest of you intend to let them go?
Well, I'm picking up the spear and saying, keep your stick and chuck it back at the one that tried to chuck it at Brother Abbas.
Okay. By the time you get the spear, they've moved a bit further off, so take 6 away from your attack and roll.
Will I marry you, Grim? 1.
Okay. Roll 2d8 damage.
Okay, doke. 15. Plus 1, that's 16.
Wait, no, you shouldn't have a +1. It's not a magic spear.
Oh no, combat technique, armor piercing, plus 1 sword.
That's for armor piercing, but for damage,
Right.
it's 2d8.
Okay, 15, my bad.
Okay, so yeah, you hurl the spear with as much might as you can muster and skewer one of the raiders as the rest make their way across the open fields and downland as far away from you as they can get. Right, combat is over. Most of them are dead. One of them was knocked out by Madrock. You can sort of hear his wheezing breathing. The knight sort of stabs his sword into the dirt and leans on it to hold himself up. Oh, thank you.
You're very much welcome, Sir Knight.
My name is
I'll assist the little old lady getting down from the tree.
Yeah, she very much appreciates the help. Yeah, gentleman, and such a handsome young gentleman too.
Oh, he's only a brother, not a friar, thank God.
And that was Madrock helping them. So a knave. You wonder if this old lady might have some money. Okay, so the knight introduced himself as Gawain. Thank you again. I must repay you somehow. Surely a meal and a warm bed at my lord's house, perhaps?
That sounds like there's no need for compensation, but I shall take you up on that offer.
I'm sure when I speak to my lord, he will wish to give you something.
Heroic deed is payment enough.
How very chivalric of you. Still, your horse will need tending.
Indeed. Oh no, I forgot. Wounds.
Of your faithful manservant.
Oh.
Do you want to finish off the last raider, or leave him here, or take
No,
him captive?
we'll bring him back to your lord and get some answers out of him, because it's not every day we come across some brigands attacking a fellow traveller and escorts, and we could get some answers of what actually was going on, if it's all right with you, Sir Green.
Gawain says, it would be good to get some understanding of why these fellows attacked us. The marsh folk have always been fractious, but never this fractious.
I'll truss him up like a hog. I'll hog tie him from tobacco my horse.
I merely assumed that they were here to rob for the gold value of your purses.
Oh, I don't have that much with me, but still. There seems to be some other reason why they would attack me, but the Lord knows what it might be.
I'll ask the lady how she came to be escorted by a knight of all people.
Well, I just happened to be here when the fellows attacked him.
And is she lying about who they were attacking?
You don't think so? But her attire and what she has with her suggests that she's something of a herbalist or a healer of some kind.
You heal horses?
A little. I can salve its wounds until we can get him to the Lord's house, but I deal more with ladies' ailments.
Ah, right.
Do ladies often get stabbed in the leg?
more often than you might think, but not often enough for me to be an expert.
All right. Seize my horse, and we should be off.
Yeah, she feeds your horse some herbs and cleans the wounds out, and then you should probably lead him for a while. The lands around Brockley are bountiful, and Gawain, as it turns out, is not so much a knight as a reeve. He seems fairly popular with the few local peasants you meet on the road. They greet him warmly as you pass. Brockley Tower, the local lord's seat, stands atop a high bluff and makes an impressive sight, outlined by the setting sun by the time you reach it. A sandy-haired guard waves you through a small gate, allowing you access to a well-tended courtyard. The tower itself is typical of its kind, only differentiated by the unusually well-cut and polished stones that make up its foundation and lower floors. A lady in a fine velvet gown appears, flanked by a couple of men-at-arms, to greet Gawain. You were late. We were worried. We were about to send some men to look for you. I wasn't expecting extra guests. Gawain introduces you. This is Brother Abbas, the Baronet Alain of Braylock, and their companions. They
no need to introduce the rest.
no, the peasants.
And the others.
Yes. They assisted me on the road. We were assailed by marshfolk who seemed intent upon killing us. Grave news indeed. But they saved your life. My life, but not my dignity. I may have made casual mention that you might reward them for their unknowing service, my lady.
Be no way hold you.
He was rewarded enough.
Oh, that seems perfectly fair, but it is it's perhaps a good thing that you brought them here, along with the healer. Get them fed, watered, get that wounded horse seen to, and
large gaping hole in leg, sort of. Up there, everyone's complete. Worried about the horse.
women like horses. What can I say?
Well,
If you were a horse, maybe you'd get tended to as well.
oh,
Did
mate.
you also get wounded then?
Yeah, he got stabbed in the arse.
Yes.
Oh,
Grim, question, Grim.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't care about.
What's your thing called on YouTube for this adventure? What is it on YouTube? What's it called?
The Reeve's Tale.
Reeve.
The Reeve's Tale. My is the adventure.
How do you spell it? Reeves. How do you spell it?
Reeves.
R-E-E-V-E.
R-E-E-F-S. Reeve's Tale. Yeah.
No, V,
Reeves.
as in
Sorry?
Christopher. As in Christopher.
Yeah.
Oh,
Vic,
right. Got you. Got you. Just
Uh,
one of my friends in America is watching
it's-
this. So.
Oh, the channel is Grimstreams. So
It's basically another word for magistrate.
yeah,
Yes.
And-
right.
tax collector sometimes. So it's a bit weird to see him being so popular. But yes, get them fed, watered, get the horse's wounds seen to, and the rude coughing gentleman. He clearly needs some kind of salve for his cough.
I got
Which one
spirit
is
in
it?
my butt.
Leg hanging off by a strand of muscle, but you know, don't worry.
Where do you want the prisoner?
He's coughing. Quick, quarantine him in the stables.
No, not with the horses.
I'll ask where did you want the prisoner. I'll point to the back of my horse.
Hand him over to the men-at-arms. We'll see what we can
Very well.
get from him. And once everyone's been seen to, please, Gawain, escort everyone to my chambers, and we should discuss matters of reward and other issues. She lifts her skirts up out of the dirt.
Oh.
And whisks away with the men-at-arms, flanking her to protect her. So yeah, you can have a slap-up feed and some herbal healing and so on. So if you did take any damage, you can have 1 hit point back.
I did not take no damage.
The horse can have 1 health point back too.
Oh, not a cup.
Oh.
Why haven't you been healed yet?
Oh.
Who's going to waste a potion on a horse other than an adventurer?
Oh yeah, I'm not that desperate. The horse is cost less than potion.
It'd be cheaper to get a replacement horse.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. War horses are
Yeah.
250 gold, aren't they?
Yeah,
So,
and,
yeah.
Oh, war horse, yeah.
Yeah, a potion
Potion-
is slightly cheaper.
What? Really?
Yeah.
You know, we have more money than sense in this game anyway. So.
Oh yeah. Also, I care about the horse. I guess.
You really want to know that, Jack?
Thank
really
you.
want to know.
So
That was
much.
the least convincing way you could have said it. I care about this awesome stuff, yeah.
Right. So once you've had a slap up feed, and feasted and drunk well. Gawain, who has now washed his wounds and changed his attire to more courtly attire, comes to find you in the feasting hall. Ah, Elaine and Brother Abbas and friends. My lady is waiting to talk with you.
Yeah, that other guy, Kizora or something.
Yeah.
The odd fellow in the mask.
If you want, I'll take the mask off if it makes you feel happy. Take it off. God, I can breathe now. God, I don't feel like a gimp.
I am so sorry for your affliction, good sir.
No,
The pox
no,
is
no,
truly a terrible ailment.
No, it's not the pox. It's self-inflicted. It's a long story.
Yes, so
Maybe
is the pox.
Hey, it's not the pox. I tell you, sir, it is not the pox. I kid you not, it is not the pox.
Leprosy?
It's a long story. It's a long story.
Well,
Oh, you were cursed or something. You got like a skull face. You
Thank
got like
you
a
very much.
hideous sunken face.
his whole body was transformed like that of a Drauga or a bog mummy, but then he managed to get most of the curse lifted by the church.
No. I got 95% of the curse uplifted, but I get the face
Yeah.
the way it is now because it helps with combat. But I scared the living bejesus out of people. It's called intimidation. You should learn it, Sir Lane. It does wonders for one folks. And I put
Anyway,
the mask back on.
we shouldn't keep the lady waiting.
Exactly.
Aren't they called ladies in waiting?
Oh, no.
Okay. So Gawain leads you through the tower. The inconvenience of such an impressive stone edifice is the sheer number of stairs and corridors that are involved, because they built this tall rather than wide. But after quite a lot of stairs, you eventually arrive at what must be the lady's chamber. Gawain knocks on the door, and you are bid enter. The lady is sat doing needlework in a hoop, embroidering. Ah, yes. Come in. Elaine, Abbas, Sizora, was it?
Yes, lady.
Madrock.
It's Kazora.
All right, so people say it differently in different dialects. Just
This is troubling. We didn't actually introduce everyone, did we?
Well, I assumed you got to know Gawain a little on the road.
Right.
Yes. My thanks for aiding Gawain. He's a valuable man. He has a way with people. It's shocking that he would come under attack. I've put together a little reward for you. She gestures to a little side table, upon which is a small wooden coffer.
I did say that a heroic deed was its own reward, but if you insist, I will accept this gift.
It is honourable for you, and it does you well that you would refuse the reward. But for the honour on my side, I must offer you something. And after all, there may be something else you can do for us.
Pray tell, my lady. Pray tell.
About 90% of porno start.
We've come to fix your fife.
No, we're here to fix your U-bend. We're here to fix your U-bend, my lady.
It's more of a hole in the side of the castle back these days.
We're women from fives.
You seem...
Oh, did I not mute myself?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just yelling at the dog to be quiet.
You seem chivalrous, honourable. I note your obvious wealth and the fineness of your gear. But this is a delicate matter, and I must prevail upon you to swear an oath to secrecy for what I am about to reveal to you. Do you so swear?
I'll nod.
Everyone else?
I'll just be quiet and see if she notices. I'd rather find out first.
She does notice and looks at you pointedly.
It's just when the word discretion was used, and we've got Sir Elaine with us.
And the better part of valor.
Well, no, that's my particular brand of cowardice, not his.
Oh, it's going to be one of these nights. I can tell.
I'll nod.
Is anyone not on board with swearing this oath?
There you go.
Oh.
There's your answer.
Okay.
I may have been trying to get my dog to be quiet.
Yeah,
I
right.
missed that. Sorry.
She said she gave you the reward. Said it made you look good to refuse any reward, but that she had to uphold her honor by offering a reward, and also pointed out that she may have something else for you to do, but required you to swear to secrecy before she would reveal it.
I see no harm in not revealing anything that you might tell us.
1 second. Some of these adventures are really not well organized.
And now for something ridiculous.
That was one that's out of 3, wasn't it? There was a Knights, Millers, and a Reeve.
Yeah. Once we've completed those, we've done all the published adventures, apart from some things that were in From the Cold, which I can't find a copy of. So,
This is
tell you what to do that.
I'm waiting in my
Yeah.
bathtub. I'm waiting for the bells to toll. Cause it's 12 o'clock to take me to the gallows pole. Yeah. Bit of fire movement for you fans.
well, once you're sworn to secrecy, she has her maids and her guards leave, and only Gavain and you remain. She leads you out of her chambers and along the hallway to a much grander chamber, a bedroom.
Oh,
Ooh, wow, that misses.
I didn't know this was Friday's game.
Right. Within, there is a much grander chamber with a huge four-poster bed and all the trappings of a reasonably well-off but not too ostentatious local lord. There is a roaring fire in the grate, despite it being the height of summer and it being a stifling and sweltering night, to the point where this room is virtually unbearable to you, even though the windows are also thrown open to let air go through. The old lady from the top of the tree is in here, and she is dabbing a cloth to the head of a man who is writhing and twisting and moaning, and there's that sickly stink of vomit and stale sweat in the room.
Oh, so not an orgy.
No. My lord, my husband, Sir Ursian, he's been sick and nothing seems to make him better. We suspect some unnatural cause, which you may be able to help us get to the bottom of.
How long has he been like this, my lady?
A 7-day. And he was a little unwell before then.
Who have you called to heal him?
We could not bring a conventional healer, but we have talked to those who can be trusted to stay silent. And we brought Old Mother here, from the villages, supposedly to tend to me, so we could disguise the true extent of Sir Ursion's ailment. But prayers have done nothing, and even the mother's potent herbs, which I can vouch for, seem to have done little or nothing to alleviate his pain.
Well, if prayers have done nothing, I can't think of anything else. Do you have any suggestions?
What was he doing? What was he doing before, my lady, to come down with such illness?
He has been doing little but overseeing the upkeep of the tower. He has ridden the bounds a few times in the weeks before he fell ill, but there was no encounter with anything strange or unnatural or wrong. But now the marsh people seem to be in an uproar for some reason, and that's new as well. Though why they would attack Gavain, if who knows? I don't know.
Have you made enemies? Have you made enemies in the past few weeks, months?
No new enemies. Everyone has enemies in this land. Courtly life is not one for friendships. Montombre continues to press and push at everyone.
If he was to be, sorry for the expression, extinguished, would you then be proprietor of this land?
We have no children as of yet.
Right.
He has a brother.
Right.
I would probably be placed in as the caretaker and regent of the land until I passed, and then the lands would pass to his brother.
Right.
Unless I remarried.
Does he get on well with his brother?
Yes, they're good friends. They hunt together.
So, we can't rule the brother out of suspicion, but it seemed unlikely in this case.
Everyone's a suspect, Sir Lane. Everyone's a suspect.
I'm going to be watching for twitches and tells and other signs of throughout this.
She's being pretty honest, as far as you can tell. But the old woman seems to be a bit more guarded. You'd have expected her to have spoken up a bit about the healing, especially when she was mentioned. But she's just kept quiet and kept tending to him.
You don't want to take the blame if it goes wrong, do you?
That could be it.
To the brother, I'll do this fairly quietly while the main talk's going on.
Yeah.
She mentioned a supernatural influence. Can you see if there's anything on him? You've mentioned this.
Yeah, Brother Abbas has that sort of magic sense and that vibe sense, doesn't he?
I'm trying to keep it out of game terms, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was me talking in a meta way. Does Brother Abbas want to check for bad mojo?
Yes, certainly, yeah.
Okay. So you can see magic anyway, and that's your permanently on effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is some kind of dark enchantment upon him, but you're not sure what it is. It's not exactly a curse. Something else. And if you want to make a vibe check.
Yeah, just a sec. Past just.
Okay, 1 second.
How old is Sizzle, Grim? How old is he?
I don't. If I didn't put down an age, you can probably pick one. You'd probably be still in your 20s.
Late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
I thought so. No, because I've gone through a lot.
I mean, you would have been away. You would have been away about 4 or 5 years at the Crusades. So.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. No, just curious, George, because no one has the ages on their card sheet. I know Selene's an old fossil, but that's the story. Thank you, Jack. Oh, he's in a huff with me, not speaking. I was just saying to you, Jack, that Selene's an old fossil. He knows a lot, seen a lot, done a lot, David.
think this Elaine's fairly young, isn't he?
It could be.
she's. I would say she's in her late teens, early 20s. Because back in these days, they did marry young.
Yeah.
Look at Emily 8, for instance.
But as for Elaine, I mean, it can be whatever age you want, really. Right. So, Brother Abbas subjects the sickly lord to some occult scrutiny, and then lays his hand against the wall of the tower and concentrates for a moment. You get a strange flashing vision. You see a light like the moon on water for a moment, and then it suddenly rushes towards you, and you think you see bricks flying past you, and you land in the water and claw for the surface, but you can't find it, and then everything slowly goes dark, and then you sort of snap back to the room where you are.
I'll impart what I've just seen in my mind to the rest of the group.
What does it mean?
Is it possible he's already died?
He's still... I mean, he's wet and clammy, but he's still moving naturally, still has breath and a pulse.
It definitely doesn't seem to be under any kind of curse. It's something else. I'm just not quite sure what.
So, we don't know what ails him. We don't have any leads.
Well, the marsh people are not advising about something so lane, so that's one thing we could look into. And marsh people, as far as we know, they do their own mumbo jumbo PBGB stuff, so that's another thing we could look into. The brother's worth looking into. I think everyone's a suspect, so except for us, because we helped the healer and the knight.
We're new to the region as well. But it seems like a start, at least.
Yep.
It may be coincidental, though.
So I reckon a trip to the marsh folk, find out what they're uploading about, trip to the brother, find out if he's alright, and come back and see what we can do for her hubby.
Alright, that seems like a plan.
I wouldn't recommend a trip to the marshes. Normally, if you go to the marshes, you need a marsh guide. And as we've snuffed some of their people,
no, we've got one.
They just won't ever find us ever again.
We've got one of the brigands down being Q&A'd by the men at arms for the lady here. And he can take us back to his people, but if they are part of the marsh people, which I think they've been hired by the marsh people, so they can sort of like get a visit, smile.
Are you afraid of a few peasants armed with sticks?
Lots of them, yes. In fact, one of them, yeah, often. Get who you're speaking to.
Anyone smell that? Does anyone smell that? No, I thought not. We fought together, we dined together, we partied together, and we're brothers and sisters to the end. There's no sign of cowardice now. Come on. We made an oath. God. Ah.
Well, you could interrogate the prisoner yourself, or see how they've been getting on.
Well, I'm quite happy to do that. I had the torturing skill.
Skill?
My lady, I accept your offer of finding out why your dear husband is ill. I don't know about my brothers here and my sister, but basically you have my word, but we will keep the secret amongst ourselves. I can't speak for others, but I speak on my behalf, and I will find, by hook or by crook, why your hubby is ill and find out if there is a cure. And if so, I will bring it to you when I find it. Good day. Bow, 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 bow. And then go up to this man at arms room to go and torture the suspect.
Yeah. Do the rest of you want to go down to the dungeon as well?
Yes, I'll
Yeah.
I'm sure torture would be the way to go.
Okay. So back down.
Of course, that depends on how much of a kicking he's already got off the guardian, so a bit later.
Right. So you make your way down to the courtyard, and then from the courtyard down to the dungeon. It's surprisingly clean, and there are plenty of lanterns. The guard chamber has a couple of men-at-arms sort of sat there, bored, pikes or halberds laid up against the wall while they play cards with each other. But the jailer is not what you were really expecting at all. He's a quite thin, severe, bookish-looking man. He has a pair of magnifying spectacles balanced on the end of his nose, and he's reading through a book and making notes with a quill pen on some parchment.
I'm here to
Would
see
it have
the
a
prisoner.
title, or is that?
Sorry, one at a time.
So I was just seeing if there was a title on the book.
It's a treatise on anatomy, newly published in Pheromane.
I'm here to see the prisoner. Is he still alive?
Sorry, who are you?
Sir Cesaro of Magyar. I'm here to see the prisoner I brought in. Is he still alive?
The people who helped Gawain. Yes. He's alive but unconscious at the moment. I think it's best to give him a little while to recuperate.
Get me a bucket of water. Get me some food. Get me some wine.
I don't think you'll get much out of him more than I did.
And what did you get out of him?
They were sent by Rigawag, who is some sort of mystic of theirs from their village. We haven't really seen or heard much of him in a while, but he wasn't particularly fractious when we did hear from them. They were paying their taxes, which were kept low by his lordship, to spare them any depredation. But it seems that, according to the prisoner, this Rigawag had some manner of vision that led him to send his compatriots to slay Gawain, and apparently to be intercepted by you. Whether that was or was not part of the vision, he couldn't tell us.
And why is he unconscious?
He's unconscious because in order to extract this information and the village that he came from, Coronac Marsh, and the Cranog there, we had to subject him to some rather painful exploratory surgery.
How
You
long
seem
is he
remarkably
going
well versed for a torturer.
to Yeah.
Yeah,
How
so
long is he going to be out?
I
No,
was
you go again.
I was going to be a doctor, but truth be told, healing wounds is really the arena of magic in this day and age. To this point, philosophy has not yet made that much of a dent. It is the herbalists and the sorcerers that truly know how to repair wounds, but to inflict them. There is certainly an art to that.
Seems.
So you don't hold with the Galenic views, then? Don't hold with the Galenic views, the wholeness of the being.
A being is made up of many separate parts. Tweak one part, and you can bend the rest to your will.
I suppose
So
everyone's got to have a
that
passion in
means-
life.
So how long is he going to be out for the count?
Well, as I said, I don't think you're going to get much more information out of him than I did, but if you wish to wait till the morning, I'm sure we can rouse him by then.
I'll be
Don't
back.
really have time to wait, unfortunately.
I'll walk out.
Cesaro, if time is of the essence, do you still have any of that powder we picked up in the Kikuran
The what,
desert?
sorry?
That powder you picked up in the Kikuran desert?
I still have some of
The
it.
raiders just before we went in. I don't remember
Yes,
much.
I do still have some of that love juice, yeah.
That would probably do the trick, but it's probably also too valuable to waste.
Exactly.
Oh, fair enough. As long as it was there as an option.
It's worth it for a chocolate biscuit, but we'll keep that in
It
mind.
seems like this fellow has extracted all the information we needed from him anyway.
Could I ask again what the name of the village was?
It is the Cranog in Coronac Marsh.
Did he happen to impart any information that might lead us there?
Oh, we know where it is. One moment. He gets up, crosses to one of the cells, which he's apparently turned into a small library, unlocks the gate, goes in, and returns with a fairly recent map of the domain. Spreads it out on the table, weighs down the corners with stones, and traces with his finger until he finds the marsh. Here we are. Surveyed this spring, so it should be relatively up to date.
And what does it look like?
So, Coronac Marsh is about 10 miles away. It's marshland surrounding a shallow lake. And the Cranog is an ancient man-made island in the lake. So you'll need some way to cross the water. But it's not too deep. So you should be able to swim across it without drowning if you so wished.
I can swim that, no problem.
Yeah, well, you've got a pair of buoyancy and...
Dolphin boat skills, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we could track back from the ambush site to where they might have left skiffs, something like that.
Yeah.
That might take a while, but boats are the right kind. It would be coracles, would it?
Yeah, there's
That would be,
there's round sort of two-person boats, yeah.
yeah. So, it's of Avalon a while ago. Bloody good.
Need a guide and revisions at least.
Well, our guide is unconscious, Sir Lane.
If you wanted to use a prisoner, it's probably not a particularly good idea.
Double cross us. Surely you have someone else in this village that can show us the way. If you collect taxes from them, you must know the lay of the land.
Yes, Gavain knows where it is. So yes, he could come with you.
Most suiting then.
They've already tried to kill him once. I'm
Hmm.
sure that.
Well, it seems only fair to visit the same upon them. Does it not?
Unanswered question. If they've been misled by some Damon or
Well,
something like that.
if they leave us no choice, we will fight.
Then we should be away.
Right.
Brother Abbas,
Okay.
can you pick up impressions from unconscious people? They have to be active. Would you just wander into a dream that might not make any sense?
Doesn't really work with people. It's so much as rooms.
Isn't there a detect thoughts spell or something similar?
I do have
Telepathy.
I do have some form of telepathy. I've never actually used it. I've got ESP. Can read thoughts.
Yeah, I think they just. I don't know. They might give impressions.
Let's have a look at the spells. I do have a telepathy
To try
spell.
and read his mind.
I do have a telepathy spell, but I communicate to them in the form of images as well as words.
You might be able to read something from his mind using that.
I'll give it a try then. So, what spells that? It's a level 4.
Remind me to never play cards with awareness. Dice, yes. Hard to know.
Let's make the psychic exhaustion roll first. Not excited. No, I'm not psychically exhausted.
Right.
How now does it work? No, it lasts 10 minutes anyway. So I can communicate telepath. There's no speed or anything like that. 'Cause it's not an offensive spell or anything.
Yeah, but you don't have to go up and disturb him either, because you've met him, so you know he's there. So you can just find a quiet corner and sit and concentrate. Okay, you glide over the edges of Sir Ursian's mind, and you see repeats of that same image, that plunging into that light on the water and clawing at the water, that sensation of drowning, of nails scratching and breaking against bricks, and a smooth feeling of glass as well that you couldn't get enough purchase to lift yourself out. Intermingled with that are Urshian's own memories. You see the hunting hawk, you see his wife, you see his lands, you see the tower. It seems like his thoughts and those of some other being are intermingled and connected, mixed together, but his thoughts are slowly ebbing away, and his psychic energy, his astral tether, his soul is being winnowed away at the same time.
I'll tell everyone else what I see in his mind.
What does it mean?
Being taken over?
Some form of possession, I think.
Hang
It's
on.
like some other
Ursian is the guy in the cell, or Ursian is the...
No, Ursian's the
Lord
knight,
in there.
the lord, the sickly lord.
Oh, right, okay. I was reading...
I thought that's whose
notes
mind you were going to read. I mean, if you got...
No, I actually meant going to the prisoner.
Okay, I thought you meant him. But you can try and read the prisoner's mind as well. While you've got the spell active.
Yeah.
So he's unconscious, he can't really defend his mind from your probing. You get a sense of fear and reverence from him. You see a mad-looking, wild-eyed man caked in dried blood, sort of shouting and wailing at the moon. You get a vision of him and other marsh villagers abandoning their homes, and you get the sense that they're currently living in sort of tents and lean-tos in the swamp rather than on the Cranog itself. He's fired up with holy zeal as well.
I'll tell everyone else this.
Or at least that imparts the information that these people we won't find them in the city proper, in the village proper. Apart from that, what do you think it means?
We're dealing with a psychotic Shin.
Some sort of religious fanaticism.
Oh no, if that guy knows that the Lord's being possessed, he might not be sort of hostile intent on his way.
He might be the very person that summoned up whatever's trying to take over the Lord.
Yeah, okay. Might have been that. Okay, there was a mention of glass. Now that's got to be rare as rocking horse poop, hasn't it? So whereabouts would a building have glass? That's usually reserved for churches or
I mean, the ladies' chambers had small panes of glass, sort of diamonds of glass in the windows. Churches is the other main place you'd find glass. optical works and things aren't that common yet. Glass is blown into bottles and things. That's the sort of place you might find glass. But in the vision, it felt like a large amount of glass, like a block or a boulder or a brick of glass, something big enough that you could run your hands down it.
Oh, I was hoping that there's a merged church or something like that.
I mean, you've seen blocks of obsidian, volcanic glass that big, but not here.
Yeah, wrong country for volcanic.
Yeah.
Perhaps this is a vision that will reveal itself to us upon further investigation.
Hmm. So either way, the village.
Sorry, one at a time.
Yeah, matter.
So either the villagers are under the sway of some religious weirdo, or he's gone slightly wrong, but he's just trying to protect his people. I'd still prefer a chance to talk to him rather than just charge in and kill everyone and make up the answers afterwards, because that won't help.
I suppose if these are taxpayers, we should at least try diplomacy.
Yeah, especially if the Lord had. He wasn't sort of taxing them to a limit or anything like that, which is. I heartily applaud this.
He seems
so they've
fair
got
to his
no.
people.
Yeah. So I think if we could find out what they know and solve whatever that is, because it just doesn't seem. If they'd been like rebellious upstarts for generations, yeah, it'd be business as normal. But
So you're saying that you don't think this is a rebellion of sorts, and that these are simply innocent villagers that are entranced under some sort of spell,
or misdirected, or acting on wrong information, something like that.
Then perhaps my earlier zest for violent resurgence was ill-timed.
Okay, now I'm pinching my arm because I must be sleeping. Well, no, I mean, in that situation, I don't think they'd have listened to talk. So, oddly enough, yeah, speed was of the essence. But, yeah, going into the village itself, I think words first.
All right, so we know where we're going. We know what tactic we should use upon getting there. I say there's no better time than the present.
Okay.
Well, it is late now. Do you want to rest the night and leave at first light, or do you want to go now in darkness? I mean, it would help cover you from any potential lookouts or anything.
Yeah. And if we can get to that ambush site, how long did that take?
That's probably about halfway between. So that's about 5 miles away. So just over an hour. Assuming you're all riding.
Okay, so leave at first. We probably won't do it on horseback because if we're going to... If people are following my plan, if we go back to the ambush site, follow back to where the coracles, I'm assuming coracles, we don't want to leave horses getting eaten alive by whatever else may be there.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so you leave the horses here, hoof it. So it'll take you about 3 to 4 hours to get to the lake.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Okay, so you can have another health point back if you lost any, and your horse can have another one back, though he's going to be staying in the stables for a decent night's sleep and a slap-up breakfast. And then you march off. Okay.
And ask the wise woman if there's insects available.
She gives you the description of a
Home
plant.
comforts.
She gives you the description of a plant and tells you to crush the leaves and smear the juices upon your skin to keep the midges at bay.
Excellent. Only a 1 in 20 chance of getting that right then.
She also, when you talk to her, she presses a single copper penny into your hand and says, "For luck."
Thank you. Once we're away, I'll check it over. Is it a standard copper penny?
It's a very old copper penny, worn almost entirely smooth from being rubbed and handled so much.
I'll put that in my belt.
Okay. Right, the trip is uneventful. So you leave the bluff where the Lord's household is, make your way across the downs, and then through squishy water meadows with bright, tall yellow flowers poking out of the tufts of reeds and grass. But the mud does and the wetness does seep into your boots. Then it starts turning into the marsh proper, with low, twisted trees growing out of brackish water and bog, and it gets much heavier going.
Keep an eye out for those flowers.
Yes, you do spot some of the flowers that she mentioned. They grow in amongst the roots of some of these trees where the mud has been washed away from around the roots. So you pluck some of those. They have a pleasant sort of lemon and thyme smell to them, and they leave a slight greenish stain on your fingers when you crush the leaves, and it's visible on your face, but it does seem to stop the midges biting you quite so badly.
Lovely. That round if people want to.
Right, so you can smell sort of damp wood smoke from green wood burning. That seems to hang over everywhere. It's early, so it's not that hot yet, but it is the height of summer, and a miasma, a stinking miasma, rises off the marsh everywhere that you go, and it's misty. Not so much that it impedes your vision close to you, but a bit further away, perhaps half an arrow shot's length away from you, it starts to get misty, and then any more distant than that, and the trees start to disappear.
So everything looks like sinister figures in the fog.
Yes, yeah. The draw distance is reduced in the marsh. Right, so you wend your way along what you hope is the path that was on the map. You probably made a copy, a sketch or something, and eventually you find yourself at the edge of the lake, though it's a bit hard to differentiate the lake from the marsh around it. The reeds are a bit thicker here. There's some bulrushes as well. Out across the lake, you can just about make out the shadowy shape of the Cranog, and some roundhouses upon it, such as the more barbaric peoples in some of the wilder areas of the world still live. It's a little surprising to see it here in Albion, but you are literally in a backwater here. There is a coracle at the edge of the lake. The lake water is murky brown and black, stained brown from decaying leaves in the water, full of tannins. The coracle has been festooned with flowers, though they all look somewhat wilted and dead at this point. And every few paces around the lake, someone seems to have stacked up some flat stones into small cairns.
That's I've heard that before.
Cairn.
Cairn.
Very well.
Like a stack of stone.
Caern. Yeah.
C-A...
ERN. Well, sometimes it's with an I, but I think that's a Gaelic.
It is C-A-I-R-N. Memorial or landmark Ooh, beautiful. Okay, let's press onwards.
Sorry, just gotta deal with this email. Work never stops.
On
Leave a
these.
few flowers at the
Okay, that should deal with
any
that.
local spirits taking them.
The cans are just small piles of stones. They're not grave markers or anything. You take it that they have some sort of ritual value. The flowers seem to just be a variety of local flowers and herbs, but there's only the one coracle on the beach of the lake.
How many people would that take?
About 2 of you can use the coracle at once. Possibly 1 if you're Elaine and don't want to sink.
I guess my own coracle.
With blackjack and hookers.
Yeah. Do you actually know how to do any sort of manual tasks of that nature? Because otherwise you'd just be going in circles for ages, which will make me laugh uncontrollably.
Has
I'll
anyone,
pick it up
You won't speed
eventually.
us up.
has anyone here had a go on a coracle before? I have. You do tend to go in circles.
Used a canoe.
And back when I was a kid.
Anything similar?
They're kind of round. They're almost like baskets, really, and it's not easy.
Those are a doddle.
Yeah. So yeah, well, 2 of you at a time can probably use the coracle. So if you want to get across to the island without getting soaked to the skin, that's the way to do it.
Is it close enough that we could attach a rope so that we could just pull
Yeah,
over?
if 2 people go, well, yeah, several of you got rope. If you string 2 or 3 ropes together, then you should
So
be
like
able
a
to,
relay ferry type situation.
yeah. But 2 people have to go across and tie off the other end of the rope somewhere. But then it should be relatively quick and easy to just pull yourselves along the rope in the coracle to get back and forth for the rest of them. But who's going to go across first?
I'll have a go.
Okay, and is anyone going to accompany Madrock?
I'll
Please.
go by. I'll go by late.
I'll go with him.
So you've got a sack of grain, a duck, and a caesura, which you need to get to the other side of
No,
the
a
lake.
dolphin. A dolphin.
If you come over first, you might have to take the armor separately. Yeah, the issue. I was actually thinking of the others going across first and then pulling you across.
Yeah, that would probably work better.
I feel Simon McCockendale coming on.
Okay, so who's going across? Madrock and...
Caesar's
Me.
taking the water. Caesar's taking the water. They can take the boat.
Okay, so what, you're going to transform into a dolphin, are you?
I'll carry
I'm doing my
I'll
Simon
carry the duck.
McCockendale.
You carry the duck. It's a witch!
Hence why I said I'm doing a Simon McCockendale moment. For those who don't get the joke, there was a classic series in the 80s called Manimal. There you go.
Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
With
Not
very
the name.
expensive
Yes.
transformation sequences. Yeah.
Yes, that's one time I need to flip up. Oh.
So Madrock and Abbas are going in the coracle first to take one half of the rope over, while Caesura is in the water in the form of a dolphin,
Yes.
sort of swimming across as well. And that's all so you could just more easily haul Elaine across later. Right?
Okay.
Hang on. There-
Sounds like a
Who's got
plan.
that water walking thing?
It's not exactly water walking,
Elaine-
it just makes you more buoyant, and Caesura has it.
If Sir Elaine snaffled that, would that make it easier?
It would.
Just for that journey, I'm not
Yeah.
suggesting.
Then you wouldn't need to bother stringing the rope, really. Because you could just do
Hey,
so two of you in the coracle each time. So Cesora wouldn't have to use
If
his...
you're thinking down there for something I forget about.
Okay, so Cesora can save the charge on his magic and just go across in the coracle with Madrock, and then Alain and Abbas, or the other way around, or who's in the boat first? 2 people.
Me and someone.
I'll go with him.
Okay, so Madrock and Abbas in the coracle first.
The only thing that's more tricky than this is a locked door in a dungeon, isn't it?
Yes.
20 minutes later.
Yes. Or a chest.
The next scene, 3 of us will be buried up to our necks with a wall between one of us.
Right, you start sculling the coracle across the water. It bubbles every now and again, and there's a foul stink coming off it. You wonder why anyone would live here, but nonetheless, it seems that they do. What are your perceptions, Madrock and Abbas?
Mine is 12. I'm from a family of charcoal burners, apparently,
11.
so the spell here wouldn't trouble me much.
Mine's 11.
Both quite perceptive. Okay, you're about halfway across to the island, so you can sort of see the shape of it a bit better now. It's fairly obviously artificial. You know, someone's piled up rocks and then piled up earth on top of that. You can make out the shapes of the roundhouses, though there's no smoke coming from the top of them. And you hear a faint jangling, and you see the shadowy shape of a figure pacing away from you around the edge of the island. However, your attention is rapidly drawn to some more bubbling nearby, and you see a matted pile of riverweed just floating along, and it seems to be floating closer in towards you in a rather suspicious manner, because there's no current.
Bullshit. River troll.
Is that even worse than River Dance?
Oh, not worse. No, just different.
What do you wish to do?
Paddle faster.
Okay. You paddle faster. You've still got a ways to go until you reach the shore on the other side. The rest of you can hear splashing as they wildly try to paddle away even faster.
Who's left on the shore with me, Grim?
Alain.
Hold my stuff, I'll be back in a sec.
Wait
Man
for
of
it.
time.
Draw a
Man of
bow,
time.
I guess.
Wait for it. Right. So yeah, you scull as quick as you can towards the shore, and the splashing alerts Cesora, who peers out across. But before you get very far, that matted mass of reeds and riverweed and mud lurches up out of the water, a great hulking shape with shining, greasy-looking yellow eyes the size of fists peering out from the curtain of reeds. Enormous, great, long, ape-like arms ending in sharp talons reach out to try and clutch you from the coracle.
I was right. It's a freaking river troll, isn't it? Or stroll or something. Damn.
What is Abbas's defense?
8.
Right, it grabs hold of you with both of its enormous hands and lifts you up out of the coracle, your feet sort of kicking above the waves. So you are held fast. That's the only effect that it has for now. Cesora, you see this huge and Alain, you both see this huge shape lunge out of the water and grab Abbas from the coracle. You're almost glad you can't see it properly because of the mists, because it looks quite horrendous.
How deep is the water? Very deep?
It's not that deep, but wading through it's going to be a bit of a task if that's what you want to try and do.
Yeah. We need to help him.
As I said, you come on us up, I'll be back in a sec. I'm telling him to flipper.
Okay. So you grasp the charm and jump out over the water, and you see Sizora transform in shape and form into that of dolphin, which then glides elegantly into the murky, scummy water.
Heading towards that full speed. No
Yeah,
speed.
yeah, you hurtle across the water towards them. You can attack next turn. Madrock, Abbas has been plucked from the coracle.
Okay. It's gonna. I won't be able to trust an all for this, so I'm going to use the sword and go for the inside elbow of this thing.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's quite a size.
Yeah. Can you roll a d20 equal to or under your reflexes not to fall out of the coracle, please?
A 1. Ha!
Haha!
That's probably the best roll.
Coracle schmoracle. Okay. And what's your attack?
It's 17 with the sword.
Okay. Its defense is 12. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I rolled a 2. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Okay.
Roll for armor penetration.
With the 6.
And roll for damage.
Yeah, not bad. 5.
Okay, you strike true through whatever horrible carapace or leathery skin is beneath, and draw blood, foul, stinking black blood that spurts out of its inside elbow and into the water. But it does not let go of Brother Abbas. But it is Brother Abbas's go. So
I will try and mind bolt the mother.
Mind bolt. I'm shocked. Okay,
I can't get to my sword if it's holding me.
Yeah, you can't really get to it. So yeah, you know how it all works. It's evasion. It can't really evade you because it's got you grappled. So yeah, just roll to see if you're exhausted and then roll damage.
As they have it all their own way. Certain.
Not exhausted. What's its? It can't evade. Did
It
you
can't
say?
evade, so just roll damage.
So it's
Oh,
6 plus 10 points of damage minus any armor.
Okay. Right. You concentrate on it and hurl the power of your mind against it. It blasts off a whole bunch of the reeds and so on. And it has a chitinous, almost crayfish-like face with these bulging yellow eyes once you blow all the muck off its face. It roars and its mouth parts open up like some kind of horrendous, meaty flower lined with teeth, and it leans in and bites you. What is your armor?
Predator.
5.
Yeah, Predator only bigger. 5 armor. Okay, straight through your armor. And take 8 wounds as it gnaws off the soft parts of your face.
That's about half my health gone.
I've only got soft parts.
Right, so yeah, its whole head sort of splits open and it envelops Abbas's head and starts to chew and bite on it, and its hooked teeth start to tear gobbets of flesh away from your cheeks and throat. Sizora in dolphin form.
Do I have dolphin vision under the water?
Yes, you can echolocate while you're under the water.
Do I see its groin area under the water?
Yes, its groin is big enough to show up on sonar.
Using my reflexes, I'm going to go full speed and headbutt it. So I'm basically using the snout of the dolphin as if, because that's how dolphins fight. They use their nose. I dive on it
It's
correctly.
true.
Yep. I'm going to go for its groin.
Okay, it doesn't know you're there, so it can't defend itself. So just roll under your
Yep.
attack, but treat this as an unarmed attack.
1.
So double
Oh.
damage.
Chris, go on.
Ugh, my groin! How much damage? 2d6.
Well, it was a 1 I got, so is that 2d6, 2d6, or
Two-
just 1d6, 1d6?
1d6 plus 1d6.
Bowling. And it is a crit as well.
Yeah,
Bowling.
so that's the double.
5.
5. Okay. Right. You hurtle into its crotch at full speed and slam into it. Something crunches and gives way, and you can taste foul black blood in the water. Elaine, on the shore.
I'm just imagining I'm hearing a hill troll. Hill troll?
Oof.
Swamp troll? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just sort of roaring, but then suddenly roaring in a higher pitch.
But what do you want to do?
enough of this, and I'll try to get on the coracle and row across.
But the coracles over the other side, they were rowing it, so you just have to...
I can't get across.
No,
That was the problem. That was the problem that we were trying to figure out.
You could try
I've
and
never been good at these puzzles.
I've not got a bow and
So,
arrow.
you could try and
So
lob
which-
an arrow at it.
yeah, do I have the duck or the corn? I throw the duck. I try and lob an arrow at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go with
Hang
that.
on, didn't we give you the stuff that makes you buoyant?
No.
The-
Oh,
What the item was?
yes, you did.
So that he could go across as one.
So yeah, you could actually swim in full armor with that equipped.
Aha,
Hey.
brilliant.
So
Try to crawl across the water like it's jelly.
yes.
I
Mm,
was stupid enough to volunteer to go first, but I did make sure.
custard swamp. All right. So yeah, you start making your way across the water. Even with the amulet, it's still pretty tough going. Madrock balanced heroically on the coracle.
I will attempt the same thing, hack at the arm.
Okay, so you go for the same arm. Make an attack roll. Its defense is 12, and it can defend itself against you.
Yeah, not a chance.
No.
Of my attack.
All right, it sort of twists away and moves back in the water, and the eddies in the water push the coracle back a bit, so you just end up slashing at thin air. Abbas, currently having your face chewed off.
I'll try and give it another psychic bolt.
Go for it. It can't dodge, so just roll for psychic exhaustion and roll for damage.
Not psychic exhausted, and the damage is 11 points of damage minus half.
Okay. Yeah, its jaws sort of bulge outwards and buckle, but it's still got hold of you and is still trying heroically to chew at you, though it is starting to stagger and sink into the muck. New turn. It continues to chew on you. What was your armor rating again?
It's 5.
Okay. Take 3 wounds of damage. You must have busted a lot of its teeth. But it's starting to sink down into the water and carrying you with it as it goes while it's still chewing. Caesura.
I'm going to do what a dolphin does best,
Fuck him.
and that's... Pardon?
Dolphins,
No,
they're
no, no, no.
notorious perverts. They will sexually assault people.
No. Yes, they're randy as fuck. I do know because
Yeah.
I have swum with dolphins in Cyprus, but that's a different story. Right. Swim so
Did you run out of
far.
money after the fifth visit?
What was that? What was that?
Did you run out of money after the 5th visit?
No, I wore my kilt and gave me a hand job with it too. Right. Swim so far as I'm like retreating and then come back even faster and go for going a second time.
Okay, go for it. It can't see you, so it's not dodging you because it's concentrating on dodging Madrox. So just roll under your attack to hit it.
Success.
I didn't hit him square in the nuts.
Got success this time again.
Okay, and armor penetration.
Kinky 69. What's armor penetration for Snipe of a dog?
D6 plus 1.
Okie dokie, that is 4.
Okay. And that's not enough. You bounce off its chitinous crotch.
I thought I penetrated its armor last time.
You did, but you got 5 last time.
That's why I was going a bit faster. So
No, you rolled the 1, didn't you? It was a critical hit.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
true.
Okay, so that's you. Eileen.
Yes.
So your second turn of movement through the water with the amulet gets you within striking distance of the creature.
I'm going to try my might to sort of stand upright despite
Okay,
I'm standing what is essentially liquid.
yes, roll a d20
Skeleton.
equal to or under your reflexes to get some sort of footing.
Let's see what my yes, I succeed.
Okay, you manage to kind of force yourself up into a wobbly balance in the water, sort of
And then
bobbing up around
lunge
your
my
knees.
sword into its Achilles tendon.
Okay, it hasn't used its defense yet this turn, so it's putting all of its 12 defense against you because you look more dangerous than Madrox.
And I miss.
Okay.
Gamble that remark.
So it bats your sword away with its chitinous forearm. Madrox's turn. It can't defend against you this time, so you just roll under attack to hit
Like that sort of deal. Which is why I've hit with the 9.
it. Armor penetration roll.
Armor, however, armor is 6.
Straight through. Okay, and damage.
Nice. Oh, 4.
4 damage.
That's
Okay.
something.
Yeah, you slash across its other arm and carve away part of its shell, revealing the flesh and muscle beneath. Its breathing is laboured, not only because its throat is clogged up with a half-digested Brother Abbas, but from the wounds, you think. And Abbas, you can feel your legs hitting the water as it sinks lower, but it's still got hold of you.
Teach him to pray before he eats. Go on.
Well, I better kill it up in one go this time, otherwise I'm going to be a bit worse for wear because I've only got 3 health points left before I hit 0. Right, so we'll give it one last try with the old mental blast.
Go for it. It can't dodge, so just psychic exhaustion and damage.
All right. Not exhausted. And damage is... Oh, tasty. 16 points of damage time minus armor.
Okay.
Treble 5 there.
It's about to sink beneath the water with Abbas in its clawed embrace when its head abruptly explodes. It drops Abbas and drops back into the water and slowly sinks into the mire.
I'll try and scramble back onto the boat. Thing.
Yeah.
Coral. Looking worse for wear.
Yeah, with teeth
Oh,
embedded in your face.
I'm still sort of clambering to try and get across this water.
Yeah.
Abbas, are you okay?
So yeah, you all managed to drag yourselves up onto the mucky shore, and probably could do with some healing.
Yes, definitely.
You've got healing magic, don't you?
Well, I think I'm going to heal 2 points at a time.
Yeah. Let's see if you've got any
Figure
potions. See, this is what happens when you don't have Keridon with you to heal you.
Yeah, but Mystics heal like Wolverine. They just sit there for a few minutes and. What rank are you?
6. Bless you.
So. 19, so 18 or less, I think. Which is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any spare healing potions on anyone.
No, there is.
Because you used a lot in Mongolia. Bless you. Yeah,
There
you're
isn't
gonna.
really any, there aren't really any greater healing spells for the Mystic of just the Invigorate at level 1.
No, the only other healing thing you have is Elaine's healing amulet, which is a one-shot thing. So you're probably best off using your psychic healing as much as you want to risk it.
Also, the amulet doesn't just heal hit points; it heals like more.
No,
stuff.
it heals all your health, removes any disease, regenerates any lost limbs, gets rid of any poisons. It's a one-shot cure-all, basically.
Right, I'll make a couple of see if I don't flunk any of them.
Abbas,
Yeah.
Purification at rank 6, but it will. This you've only got you've got a lesser chance of keeping your abilities.
Yeah, it heals 8 hit points.
Oh yeah, that's true. That would be helpful. Yeah, I'll try that.
But that's a level 6 one. I mean, it'll work anyway. Just it might exhaust you. So.
Right.
Statistically, I think you've got more chance doing the lesser ones over and over.
No, I'm all right. I rolled 4. So I'll get 8 back.
Nice.
And I'll just do 2 of the smaller ones to get me back up to full if I can.
Okay. So you
So
sort of lay on the shore and meditate.
I'll do the lesser one once, and then I'm only down 1 hit point.
Okay. Yeah, so you lay on the mud of the shore, meditate, and pray for a moment, and you're gifted with curing of your various bitey ills.
Yeah, I'm not exhausted on the smaller one either, so I'm all good. I didn't realise that was I had a spell that did that. I'm always looking at. It's because I'm always looking at Mystic Blast.
Yeah, can't look away from it. Okay. So the Cranog is a small artificial island. There's a partially collapsed palisade around the outside of the Cranog. So you've sort of come up on part where it's partially collapsed. It looks like the palisade isn't just a defensive wall, but it's part of the structure of the island to kind of hold it together and stop it from breaking away into the lake. There's an animal pen, but it's empty apart from a few bones. And there's 2 huts, one smaller, partially collapsed, one larger, still intact, but in a pretty bad state of repair. Moss is growing on its roof, which is old thatch that's starting to rot and slough off. And across the other side of this small island, you can hear the slight jingle of the bell of that figure that was walking around.
I'll set off towards that then.
Oh.
How long does it look like the place has been left?
Um.
You know they're living away from here.
Yeah.
If it's because the has moved in, then we've done them a solid. Rabbit in the solid. Ooh. Was there enough left of the head or a significant body part that we could take along to show them?
Yeah, there's enough bits, probably an eye and part of one of the jaws. Yeah.
Something would definitely have come from one of these.
Do any of you have any construction skills or come from a construction background or?
No, I'm just looking for things like normal household of that type would need like a fairly regular upkeep because mold stuff like that are always.
You'd say it's been in a state of disrepair or hasn't been maintained in at least a year, probably longer.
Recent.
If you want to keep a thatch sort of truly in good shape, you have to replace it, every couple of years. This is past due for replacement, so. But then it's a March,
Especially
so things might rot quicker here. So.
a lot. No fresh footprints. I'll ask. Never do that name. Azuro. The assassin. Who isn't
Cesora.
the assassin? He's a mercenary. I know.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
Kiora.
Well, either way, set off towards the jingling and hope he didn't summon the troll on it.
Does Cesora want to stay a dolphin, or do you want to turn back now?
I'll swim towards the shore at the other end,
Yeah.
and just as I'm getting close to the shore, jump out, do a 360-degree somersault, turn back to a human, and mid-flight, and land on my feet and say, "Who wants some?"
Flash bastard.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
You want me to make a new flex roll?
No.
Just for the 20. Sure.
So you're all just going to march across the island towards the jingling of the bell in the mist?
Yeah.
The mist seems thicker around here. Are you attempting to be stealthy, or are you just going to march up?
Hell yeah. I'm being stealthy. I'm being sneaky as always.
Okay. One
Okay.
second.
One side won't do.
No?
Stealthy
I'm
is one can be
approaching
whilst
with
wearing
full
plate
and
mail.
honest intent.
See if we ever get out of this mess, guys. Can I actually teach these guys how to be stealthy?
Yes, you can attempt to.
I can be.
Right.
I think I'm the second stealthiest party member, but
Wait, what's yours? What's your stealthy?
oh, I don't know. I'm that stealthy. I probably wouldn't tell you. 18.
But you
26.
weren't.
Yeah, you're much higher ranked than me.
But you weren't being stealthy, Madrox. So the others, even if they're making a half-hearted attempt, you'll be noticed first. Right. So as you march up on this guy, it's a hooded figure, draped in long robes, sort of hobbling along, leaning on a stick, and holding a bell, which just sounds every few paces. Ding dong.
We did get a name for this guy, didn't we?
Yes.
Rigaward.
Rigoarg. Yep.
I'll call out.
Okay.
Are you Rigaward?
He stops and turns towards you.
And does he fit the description that Brother Abbas gave?
It's hard to tell with all the hood and the robes and the mist curling around everywhere. However, when he lays eyes on you, he starts ringing the bell rapidly. Ding, 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 ding.
Dong.
I'll throw the troll part at his feet. We took care of a problem for you. We're not here to harm you.
You hear a scrabbling sound coming from one of the huts as he continues to ring the bell.
Yep. I'm going to let that happen.
Okay.
The others might change that, but...
Three figures are emerging from the partially collapsed hut and moving towards you through the mist, but they're stumbling. One's dragging its leg at an odd angle. A head is lolling around in the mist. One of them seems swollen and bloated.
They're already dead.
So I'm afraid we're straight into another fight. Right.
See, I should stick to ripping people off. You try to be nice. What
What happens? You get attacked by undead. Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So Zora, you're quickest on the uptake in combat as usual.
One sword going to stab this rope character, and the other sword going to try and chop his fucking head off, because that bell's doing my head in.
Okay. So double attack, which means you got no defense.
Correct.
Right. His defense is 4. Take that away from your attack and roll.
Okie dokie. First attack, 10. And second attack, 8.
I take it those are hits because you've got an obscene attack level.
Yes.
Right. No armor. So roll damage for each weapon.
First weapon is attack is 10, and second attack is 8.
Alright, you drive your first blade into his gut, but other than spilling out some rotting organs and lengths of intestine, that doesn't seem to do much, but then you cut your other hand across with your blade, and the soft flesh and rotten bone gives way easily enough, decapitating him. The bell rings once more as it falls to the ground, and then tolls no more.
He's dead as well. Okay, that's...
Elaine. Grotesque undead things are clambering out of the collapsed hut.
I would charge forth with my shield raised.
I assumed you already had your weapons out because you'd be anticipating trouble here, so do you want to attack one of them?
Yes. What was his defense?
His defense is 4.
I hit.
And no armor, so roll damage.
9.
What do you mean, no? Roll damage.
Nicely done.
Yeah, man, yeah. Yeah, man, yeah.
Right, you charge. You charge up on the bloated one that seems to be in the lead of the others from behind your shield, and stab forward. You pierce part of its bulbous body. There's a sound like God's own raspberry being blown, and a stink that makes your eyes water. The skin hangs loose around its waist like a grotesque rotting kilt, but it's still coming.
Kill him, not pull his finger.
Madrock.
I will probably try to have a go at the same one that
That Elaine just
the knight
stabbed.
Elaine.
Okay, so you hold your breath, and
In the absence of Rebecca, hide behind the other team.
yeah, and come in beside that one to try and finish it off. Okay, it's got no defense left to use against you, so
Good. Well, I rolled a 5, so that's a hit. Is there any armour?
no armor, so just roll damage.
6 damage.
Okay, you come in alongside it and slice your blade across its back, and a whole bunch of skin and flesh just sloughs off its back onto the ground, exposing bones and the wet remnants of musculature. You can see not maggots, but things that live in stagnant water and that pools crawling around in the flesh, but it's still staggering onward.
Elfers.
Yeah. Brother Abbas, let me guess, Mind Bolt?
Yes. Possibly.
Which one do you want to go for? The foot-dragging one, the fat one that's been stabbed quite a lot already, or the one with the broken neck?
Broken neck, I think.
Okay. Its evasion is 1.
Why am I sensing?
After Thriller wouldn't stand a chance with that.
Why am I sensing Highlander Moon coming on? I don't know.
It's alright. Under 15 for the evasion. Missed it. Rolled a 17.
Okay. You concentrate and hurl a bolt of mental energy at it. Somehow it misses it and strikes the half-destroyed hut behind it, cracking some of the rotting wood and causing more of the roof to collapse inwards. Right. The fat one tries to claw at Elaine. It's going to need a crit to hit him. It doesn't get one.
Remember, we are politically correct when it's not practical.
Sorry. Healthy at any size and death.
Yeah, that's better.
Healthy at any decay state. Yeah.
That's better. Yeah. That's
Okay.
better.
The other two fall upon Madrock. What's your defense divided by 2?
It's 9, so 5 and 4.
Right. They try and grab you, but they're so slippery with rot and the dampness that gets into everything. They just can't seem to get a proper hold on you. Plus, you're just fresh out of the brackish water, so you sort of slip through their hands like the soap in the shower.
I'm more slippery than they.
Yes. You have the power of 10 otters. Right, Cesora. Cesora,
Si, senor.
you'll go.
Right. So we have the slightly heavy built one.
Yes.
One with a twitch in his neck,
Yeah.
and the other one got a limp.
Yeah. The other one has a dead leg. A Charlie horse.
I'm gonna go for Jabba.
Okay.
There was one.
So you come in on the other side from Madrock to try and finish
Yep.
it off. Okay. Its defense is 4.
I'm just doing one attack and keeping the other one to parry.
Okay.
Especially with undead.
Go for it.
Right. I get a 4.
So that's probably a hit. Roll damage.
And that will be 6.
Okay. That last blow is enough. Skewered 3 ways by all of you. The body just seems to finally lose its integrity and fall to pieces in front of you, oozing into the muck. Elaine, it has fallen, but there are 2 others which are trying to grab hold of Madrock. Muted?
Yes, I was muted. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Maybe even hit it with some sort of weapon.
Perhaps
Not entirely
sword?
sure.
Okay.
Hit it with my sword.
Yep. Its defense is 4.
Ooh. Let's have a look. Ooh, actually, you have to add things up, so that's quite high. 20 plus 3, 2, 4. Yes, I hit. So I would only have to roll 19.
And then damage.
Okay.
How much
9 points of damage.
Okay. So you move on to the next one as that one falls, sort of treading over the remnants of its corpse, and hack downwards into the shoulder of the one with the broken, lolling neck, and cut through the clavicle and down through the first rib. But it's just pulling itself along your sword towards you now. Madrock. Muted?
Sorry, yeah, I'll try and hit the same one because I've still got a chance of missing even with no defense against me.
Okay. It's got no defense left, so
Yep, so I hit by 5 and I do 9 damage.
nice. Okay, so you come up behind it while it's engaged with Elaine and stuck on his sword, and you finish the job with its head by grabbing its wet hair and sawing through what's left of the broken neck.
And going, ooh, that's it.
Gross, gross. Right, there is one left, the one with the limp, the broken leg. So, Abbas, you'll go.
I'll give it another try, mentally killing it.
Okay, its evasion is 1.
I am psychically exhausted this time because I rolled a natural 20.
Lame.
Oh,
I do hit this time. That's 3d6 plus.
Huh.
Ooh, 13 points of damage minus armor.
Okay. You blast it. You strip a whole load of the flesh off its bones. Half of it still has musculature, and it's continuing to try and drag itself forward from that. But where the wet, rotten sort of sackcloth of its clothing was blown off, you can see from the flesh beneath, it looks like parts of its flesh before you even attacked it had been cut off, or gnawed, or eaten by something. It lunges at Madrock and misses, and then you're just, there's no way it's surviving unless you all roll botches. So you surround it and hack it to pieces down into the ground. Peace descends once more, and nothing else seems to be emerging from the mist to attack you. So you're now free to explore the island.
I'm checking the robed guy before we go any further.
Okay.
The one who's ringing the bell.
Yeah, he's very dead. What do you want to check for?
Just pat him down, see if he's carrying anything of use except that bell.
Just the bell. It looks like he's been sort of crudely robed with sackcloth and so on to make him look like a leper. And the cloth has actually been stitched to his skin. But parts of his musculature have also, once you sort of look beneath the robe, they look like they've been gnawed or cut away.
Does the bell look valuable?
It looks like a small cowbell. So if you ever need more cowbell, you've got one.
But why would a rope carry a bell going ding, ding, ding? Well, I'll pick it up anyway, just in case.
Yeah, lepers carry them in order to warn people that there's a leper around.
That'd be useful. That could be a good disguise. You know, I could carry a cowbell when I'm sort of like got my mask off. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just take it as a token. Yeah. So who's
God, the curiously reluctant to search you.
Sorry, one at a time.
You go first.
I was just saying the gods are curiously reluctant to search lepers. I can't imagine why.
You find D6 scabs.
So did I give Surly my Boyacey brooch, or did he just manage to get across on his own?
Yeah, you loaned it to him, so
yeah,
you can have it back now.
Thank you much, Surly.
So, scouting around the island again. So there's a couple of small animal pens with no animals in them, just a few chewed, rotting bones. The palisade is partially collapsed. There's a little area that may have once been a garden, but it's barren now. The big hut has a rotting roof but hasn't collapsed, and there's the partially collapsed hut that the undead things lurched out of.
How sneaky up there?
To the ruined one.
Yeah, the one which is standing out from the others.
Okay, the ruined hut, it's about half collapsed. There's timbers and rotten straw. The weather seems to have created a hollow in the centre of the hut, which is partially full of the same brown brackish water as the rest of the marsh lake. It looks like the things dragged themselves out of the pool when they came to attack you.
I'm tempted to chuck a flashbang in the water just in case, like a death charge. But I'm going to hold it.
You have been attacked by things in water before.
So. But I'm tempted to chuck one in because you never know what's down there.
Isn't dynamiting fish illegal?
Yeah, but for undead, no.
Well,
what about undead fish?
That's what I'm saying. Blowing water up undead fish is not illegal.
It's cold, wet, and slimy. How do you know the difference?
How do I know the difference? Good question. That is a
With
good
blank,
question.
staring eyes.
Which are sized of fists. Yeah. Okay, though. Oh. I could always do it if you want me to.
Well,
Well,
So how do those things work? It can't be off of impact because it wouldn't work in water, would it? So do you like turn a thing on
who knows?
Or-
It's a mystery of the assassins.
it's a secret. It's a secret we take to the grave with us, dear friend. Secret we of the tree.
It's a
But
plot
yeah.
hole.
There doesn't really seem to be anything in the partially collapsed hut.
Okay. Right, I'll go back and team up the others then.
So the only other place to really check is the larger roundhouse, the one that's intact.
Seems like a place we should have looked to begin with. Let's go there.
Okay, it's dark and dingy inside. Some pallid light punches through the holes in the thatch. There are partially eaten rats and frogs and other swamp-dwelling creatures, empty snail shells. There is a fire pit, but it doesn't seem to have been used for quite some time. Some of the bones around seem, well, you've lived the adventuring life for quite some time now. You know human bones when you see them. And someone seems to have been gnawing and chewing on those bones. There are fresh reeds laid down on the floor. Reeds and rushes and some animal hides. Less than clean, but the floor has been kept up in here, even though the fire pit hasn't been used. Which is a little odd.
They've had sushi.
So whoever made these scenes stayed here.
So it would
At
seem.
least one. Does it look like a bed that would be returned to? Like, is it just a pallet or are there blankets on it?
There's
You take blankets.
there's no real bed. It's just that someone has bothered to cover the floor with fresh rushes.
Right. So if we can't find anyone else, we could put the bodies out of sight. One of us could dress up as that bell ringer.
No, I'm not wearing any of their armour after what I came across.
Yeah.
Because you never know what they were carrying. Oh, I have a broken pod.
Well, he was carrying a bell, but
Sorry,
Yeah, no, but
sorry, what did you say?
I'm going to give the rushes a broken pod with Cyclops.
Okay. You don't sense any illusions, but at one point your sword does go deeper into the rushes, as if there's no resistance beneath the straw. When you flip the reeds aside, there is a crude tunnel that seems to descend straight down like a well shaft, and there is a foul stink, even fouler than the place smells anyway, rising up out of that hole. It looks big enough to climb down.
yeah, they wouldn't have an indoors privy pit, would they?
No.
So probably nothing to attack. How sturdy is the hut? Can we attach a rope to that, or
The main posts of the hut seem to be pretty strong and pretty well put into the ground. So yeah, you could brace a rope off that.
I guess that's the way to go then. No one can see in the dark, can they?
No.
So it looks man-made. It looks man-made then, Grim. It looks man-made.
Yes, crudely made, but man-made nonetheless.
Obviously used by their hands. And there's no ladder going down, correct?
There's no ladder, but there are. It's clay soil, quite sort of claggy, and it does look like someone has dug handholds into the sides.
Do you guys want me to go down and investigate and scream if I need help?
Yes.
Right. His lordship speaks yet again. I'll do it then. Sneaky, sneaky, going down.
Okay, what's your reflexes? 16, isn't it? And you've got climbing gear, so you're going to be able to climb down, no problem at all. Okay.
Yeah, use the rope, not the
Yeah.
slippery clay hand.
Right, you descend slowly down. The light from, well, they'll have to shine lanterns down from above, doesn't penetrate too well down here. But
I thought my lightsaber would come into effect because I've got that sword of blood. I thought I could see in the dark with that.
No, you can only see illusions with it.
No, that's my +3 sword. I'm on about my sword of Valda.
Oh no, that doesn't glow bright enough to see by. Anyway, you descend down the rope. You can hear splashing, squirming noises beneath you, but you can't see too well with the light that comes down from above to see what's making that noise. But you find a tunnel leading off the side of the well before you descend deep enough to get to whatever that splashing is. So you find a small round tunnel, crawl space really. A hunched over man could move through it, dug into the side.
How frantic does the splash sound?
Very frantic. And it sounds like lots of things moving, like a bucket of crabs.
I'm tempted to chuck a flashbang. Oh, people. Well, there's no one else down here except for me, so I'll kiss my flashbang and chuck it in, and then stand back against the wall so I don't get too flash in my face.
Yeah. Okay. What's your rank? 7.
My
isn't
rank is 8.
it? Is it 8? I thought it was 7 still.
No, it's 8.
Okay.
8.
Alright, so there's a bright flash. You don't look directly, but out of the sort of corner of your eye, so you don't blind yourself. In the brief light and sound of the flashbang, which sounds really loud to the people up above, peering down, you see dark, brackish water with hands moving around in it, thrashing, climbing over each other to try and get up at you, trying to climb up the smooth clay walls and falling down again. Hands, severed hands, lots of them.
Oh my God, would you with things in the Adams family? That's all. Oh,
All that Clive Barker story, the body politic.
well, yeah, I forgot about that. I'm a big fan of Stevie. I read some of his, and I've started reading his stuff again. Cheers, Wim.
No.
Have they seemed to have slowed down or?
No, they're frantic, but they can't reach you. You don't think they'll be able to get hold of you unless you fall into that water.
Right. Is there any way I can avoid them and sidestep and go along?
You can swing into that side tunnel and avoid them. Yeah, no problem. The side tunnel's above the water.
I'll take the side tunnel.
It's lucky you didn't use slippery clay handholds, huh?
Right. The tunnel opens up slightly, but you still have to hunch over to move through it. It heads sideways a bit and then down a slope, so you have to kind of grip onto the sides. And then terminates at some water. So it looks like the tunnel further on from here is flooded.
So I'm going to have to turn into a dolphin again.
Well, you can't. It's once a day, I think.
No, it just on my boat. It just says says transform into a dolphin. It doesn't say how many charges.
I think there is a wait time between uses, but I clearly didn't put it down there. I think you have to wait 8 hours between uses.
Okay, I'll let you look into it for me, Grim. That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Go there if you want.
Is there any other tunnel, or is this the only way?
This is the only way on, and it seems flooded.
How deep is the water?
You've no idea. You can't tell.
Well, when I'm crouched down, is it up to my ankles? Is it up to my knees?
It's like the tunnel descends into the water, so it's like it's completely covered in a pool, and the tunnel seems to go through the water.
You only live once, so go through the water.
So you want to try going through it, yeah?
Yep.
Do we have rules for holding your breath? I can't remember. You'd think it's something you'd have, drowning rules. Let me just see if I can find it. Special cases, maybe. 64.
I've got air trunks, and I'm by heat or cold while meditating. Not people like that's.
Yeah, but that's while meditating. Hang on. It's the same stat range as D&D, isn't it?
Which edition?
Well, all of them.
Not all.
What is your strength?
10. Maggie's 10.
Okay. Okay, roll d20 equal to or under your strength.
7. Lucky number 7.
Okay. You move down into the water. It descends and descends and descends. Your lungs start to burn a bit, but then you feel the tunnel rising up again. And you think you see a slight glimmer of light. So you quickly pull yourself up and, bursting for breath, you emerge from the other end of the tunnel. There is a very faint light here, but your eyes had acclimated to the darkness. In the light of a rush lamp, you see a large chamber slick with mud, walls studded with holes, which look like even smaller crawl spaces. Metal glints from a pair of leather bags near one wall, while a crudely made throne of broken glass and sticks sits in the centre of the room. The back of the throne has an oddly distended skull upon it. The chamber wall is studded with large blocks of glass, like bricks. The throne is heavily blood-stained. As you enter the chamber, you see a pair of grubby feet wriggling into one of the tunnels at the back, disappearing away from you.
What on all fours?
Yeah, on all
On all
fours.
fours. Can I grab one of the ankles?
You lunge out of the water, but by the time you get across the room, he's gone, somewhere into these tunnels.
I'll have a quick scoot around the room. So like Neb.
What, you want to try and crawl after him?
Not yet, no. I want to have a quick look around the room.
So the weird glass throne and the distended skull. There's more of these crawl space tunnels dotted throughout the walls. And these leather bags.
I'll open up one of the leather bags.
Okay, there's a few coins laid next to it, and when you open the bag, there's a whole bunch of silver florins in there, along with a damp note.
And what language is this love letter in?
Icelandic.
What does it say? Dear John.
Says, according to the letter, the money is a ransom that was intended for Baron Grisaille in exchange for the horse, weapons and armour of a Cornumbrian knight who lost against the Baron at the last Axbridge tournament. How it ended up here, you don't know, but...
Yeah, true. And the second bag?
It's a bunch of dead frogs. Some partially eaten.
I'll let them go into the watery grave. Most humane thing I can do, let them sink to the bottom of this watery entrance. Is there too much money to carry, or is there enough to put in a backpack or something?
You could probably wedge it all in your pack. It would take up about 3 encumbrance
slots.
slots. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got enough slots. Yeah, put the money in. Put the letter in as well. And follow after our four-legged friend.
What are the rest of you doing while Caesora's spelunking?
Sort of waiting until he takes too long and then going after him, I assume.
Yeah. Alright. So you squirm into the tunnel after him. What is your perception?
Or my perception is...
Not your perception, Caesora's perception.
Oh.
So Zona's perception, being an assassin. Perception. 15.
Right. You hear crawling sounds in the tunnel that you think runs alongside this one, and the wall can't be that thick. He's clearly trying to get in around behind you.
We better not fucking use me with a spear, otherwise he's fucking dead. So he's coming behind me now, so he's done a U-turn and he's gone out this,
there's
gone
a
out
whole,
this tunnel, which I'm following him in. He's now coming in.
There's an insane network of little crawl space tunnels here.
Right. I'll try and detour him. So basically, he thinks he's coming behind me, so I'm going to go deeper in and then come behind him.
Okay, so you head on in, squirm around a bit, and try and come up behind him. What's your stealth?
26.
26.
Yeah.
Yeah, assassins get ludicrous stealth. Okay, so you squirm along the tunnel, turn around, come back around and up one of the other tunnels. And eventually, when you do meet each other, it's face to face.
What is it?
You're quicker on the draw than him. It's a mad-eyed looking lunatic.
Does it look like the description we had from the dungeon?
Yes, it sounds like the mad mystic.
My reflexes. Welcome to Earth. Smack. Knock him out.
So you're going to punch him?
Yep.
Okay, you're on equal terms because you're both in tunnels. So his defense is 9.
So that's 12 or less on my attack, I believe. That's a hit. And unarmed combat, d6,
Yeah, so roll d6 to penetrate armor.
6.
And damage?
4.
4. Okay. He stares right in your face as you punch him, with the blood pouring out of his now broken nose, and screams, and it feels like the tunnel is suddenly full of immense pressure. What is your evasion?
8.
Okay. The wave of psychic energy causes the whole tunnel to shake, but somehow you manage to withstand it and brush it off. You'll go again.
Is there any way I can actually subdue him?
You
and knock him out,
can
or is
keep
it-
punching him, yeah.
Okay, I'll punch him again. Same place.
Okay. Defense 9.
That is attack, so that's 12 or less. Mag is then 10.
Okay. Your attack's more than 19, isn't it? So that'll be a hit.
Yep.
Roll for armor
21.
penetration
5.
and for damage.
Ooh, this is going to hurt. 6.
Okay. So you punch him full in the face again. This time you crack a couple of teeth and properly flatten his nose, but he just hollers into your face again.
Why did you just sleep?
What's your
Knock
armor
him out.
factor?
Armor factor is 3.
Take
What?
nine wounds of damage.
Me?
This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt.
As he screams, that same psychic pressure wave slams into you, and you feel blood leaking from your ears and your nose.
Don't surprise me. Does he look affected at all by the punching I've been doing?
Oh
to him?
yeah,
Or-
he looks pretty ragged, but he's just insane.
Right, since I basically been like knocked back, how much back have I got? Like a chance to do a run up and sort of like knock him out, and
It's a crawl space, so you haven't been knocked that far back at all, and you can't really
Okay.
charge, but you can.
size 15 boot in the face. Shut it.
Okay, make a reflexes roll to squirm around. So D20
What?
equal to 100 reflexes, and then make another attack roll. His defense is still 9.
That is 6. Yep. Hit him.
Roll for armor penetration
5,
and damage.
6 again.
Okay, so you twist around in the wet tunnel, lash out with your boots, and kick him hard, full in the face. He finally slumps unconscious.
Thank fuck for that.
So you're gonna drag him back to the rope and have the others haul him up?
No, I'm going to drag him into the room with the glass foam. Because I'm going to have to take him under the water and that if I'll take him back to the others.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tie him like a fucking turkey, gag him,
Yeah.
tie him to the glass foam, and wait for the others.
Okay. And then sort of swim back and cool them down, yeah?
Something Friday's game.
Okay. So you all managed to get down there, though it's a bit of a task, but you don't think anything's going to come to the island while you're there. It's a rather unpleasant dip in the underwater tunnel, but then you find yourselves in his throne room with Caesura and this trussed-up mad mystic.
Tied up and gagged.
Yep.
And me sitting cross-legged with both swords on my laps.
You've been busy?
That I have, my lord.
Well, let's haul him out of here then.
As you see, I didn't kill this mystic because I thought we could get some Q&A out of him. He seems to like singing a lot. Smile underneath my mask. Oh, my ears hurt. Oh. I'm definitely going on a vacation after this trip. Oh. But then again, every trip with you guys is an adventure and I get paid. Scrap that idea. Do any of you guys want to talk to this guy, or do you want me to give him the final blow, put him out of his misery? Because all he seems to do is just like scream.
When you said he was singing, what language was he?
You really want me to repeat what he said?
Just what language was he using?
Sorry,
Sorry, I was busy reading.
That's what all you did. Sorry. I'll try and repeat what he actually said. Just like screaming in my fucking face.
Probably
Yeah, it
not
was.
so loud while we're underground, maybe.
It
Okay,
seems
I'll
like
do
it
that
was
down
just insane, incoherent screaming.
He didn't say anything. He was just ranting in my face like a madman should.
I'll try talking to him, see if he can understand what I say.
We're going to have to wake him up first because I knocked him out. In fact, is he
Yeah.
still breathing? Again?
He is still breathing, but yeah, you can wake him up.
And he's gagged as well.
Yeah.
So be gentle with him. Be gentle with him.
Well, he just nods if he understands me. That will help.
All right. It's
Okay.
just his eyes are rolling like a man in the throes of a fever. His head lolls around, and he tries to speak through the gag, and pulls on his bonds.
Does it look like the same symptoms as the Lord?
Similar,
But
but
like
he
that same
seems,
clamminess, or
yeah, he seems to be stricken by some sort of fever. As he rides and moves around, a talisman on a leather thong sort of slips from his ragged, filthy shirt.
okay. Hold it up by the thong. and see if anyone recognises it.
1 second.
And how
Right.
does he react
it's
when he sees it?
It seems to be made of glass, but like no glass you've ever seen. It has a slight green glint in the light, and it feels slightly warm to the touch. He stares madly and struggles to get at you when you lift it up. It makes you feel slightly uneasy.
Or holding it by the thumb?
Even so.
I wasn't holding him by the thumb, just saying.
Yes.
Okay, is it in a shape of anything?
Yeah, a kind of spiral key shape. So it's a spiral top and then terminates in a sort of cross with a couple of bars.
Ask Brother Abbas.
Yeah, I'll see if it's anything I recognise. Or get any feeling for or any sort of sense.
The spiral motif was found in many ancient pagan tombs and sites, but it doesn't ring any particular bells for you.
Are we making bell ringer jokes?
No, it doesn't look familiar to me.
Getting a bit of echo there. It does make you deeply uneasy, though.
Is it enchanted?
It's magical.
Right. Oh, we probably don't want to return it to him.
Is he really?
And is the man himself under any occult influence?
He has a natural mystical aura, but also the same sort of cursed overlay that the Lord had.
Is he wearing any signet rings or any insignia on his fingers?
No, he just has filthy blood-stained fingers with raggedy nails. You do find a note. A greasy, damp note. It says, in very poorly spelt Ellislandic, meet me at Cobby Hole to discuss the amulet keys. And it's signed Keowyn.
Does that name ring a bell?
Probably not. No, won't mean anything to any of you. Might mean something to one of the locals, but not to you.
Well, not came across any of those except for a couple of steps in a leper who kept on ringing a dong, dong, dong bell.
Yes.
So what we're going to do to this guy then? I'm going to put him to blade, or we're just going to let him sit here on this glass phone? In fact, I'll have a look at the phone. What is it actually made out of?
It's made of broken bottles and glasses and, just broken glass.
I was going to say glass. I mean,
And there are some of these strange glass bricks around the chamber as well, and some of them form part of the throne.
entire bricks made out of glass? Wouldn't those be worth a fortune?
They might.
Well, you can carry them, Sterling. I've not got anything left in my pockets.
Yes, take them with us. Throw them on the pile.
Oh, God.
They are.
If we take this guy back, maybe get the herbalist to look at him, she might be able to settle his mind.
You can read his
Or
mind.
maybe when Abbas covers his abilities, he might be able. I don't know if it would be uncomfortable. I don't want to volunteer you for something, but if you were of a mind to, unintended, you could go for a rummage in his noggin. Maybe get past the madness or whatever. But if it puts you at risk, I don't want you getting contaminated by the same stuff.
Well, I could certainly try.
Again, it might be a herbal solution to settle him.
Easy suffering. Good idea.
So do you want to try reading his mind then?
He can't at the moment because he's
Oh,
fatigued.
he's exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mind you, the ESP will still show up. Would that
you can just
show up how many minds were in?
all it can really do is sort of vaguely detect the magic, and then as much extra information as I feel like giving. And I've said he has a natural mystical aura, but layered on top of that is something similar to the curse.
Well, the old lady might know where this cubby hole is.
Yes, and Kelwyn. Right, so with you dragging this guy back to the dungeon, so Gawain was sort of with you, though I forgot about him. So he knows where Cobby Hole is, but he does suggest that you get this mad mystic under lock and key first. But with you heading back to the tower to do that, that's where we'll call it for tonight, because I am very tired. I will sort out your experience and disperse the treasure accordingly. Thank you to the people who are watching. We had a couple of new people watching this evening, but I don't pay too much attention to the chat normally because I'm busy running the game.
Just to let you know, Grim, just to let you know, I might be... Yeah, I'm free. Yeah, it's Tuesday next.
Yeah.
I'm free Tuesday. Yeah, I'm free Tuesday.
Okay, well, I'm going to close down the stream now. So the next game is on Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you all there. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.